Hello, 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 and welcome everybody. Hello, Lori. Hello, K Mitch. Hello, Charlotte. Welcome in everybody. Okay, so we got some of the new documents, you guys. I'm going to go over the interesting parts in it or the new stuff that I thought was interesting to say the least. Hello, Dawn. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you are. Kate Bell, hello, hello, welcome in everybody. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button on your way in and please hit that like. Let's get this out there, let everybody know that we're live. It really helps the channel a lot. Also, before we get started, I want to thank a few people. Leslie H., Tanya L., Kevin M., Catherine B. Thank you very much for your PayPal donations. Very much appreciated. It really helps the channel and helps to have me put aside time to be able to get this stuff together and do it for you guys. It's a lot of document reading, that's for sure. So the documents that have already been released, I've gone through most of them. And also, I've got the selfies and stuff like that, the new pictures that were released too. So I've got them too. We will go over those. Now, there's one photo that is very interesting, and we'll get to the photos, you guys, because there's a picture of him holding up paper with numbers and letters written on it. And it's like, I've been racking my brain for the last hour and a half trying to figure out what this all means. I've got a couple different theories, but we'll go over that too, and I'll show you that photo that I'm talking about. Hello, Carol. Okay, so let's start with I don't think there's any audio with the documents. So here is one of the documents, you guys. And this is one of the supplemental requests that the defense had asked about. And this is the DoorDash driver. So they wanted the copy of all arrest reports, charging documents, and videos for Molly Marie McMichael from June 1st through May 31st. Now, I don't know why they went all the way back to June 1st of 2022. So I did go snooping the other day to try and find out why they would want it all the way back to there. Um, what I did find, and I tried to find it again so I could show you guys, but you guys can look it up. You guys will probably be able to find it easier than me. I think somebody might have even sent me a link, but can't seem to find it anymore. You guys know from where I am, it's very hard to find documents like um, news reports and stuff like that. But what I found was apparently Molly and her husband had gone to help a friend who had left her spouse and got a restraining order. So he wasn't allowed at the home anymore, this friend's husband. So Molly and her husband went over there to change the locks on the door. She got this restraining order, blah, 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 blah. When they got there, the friend was with Molly and Molly's husband. And I even forget the husband's name, but anyway, um, the door was locked. I guess the ex-husband or husband or whatever had changed the locks on the door. And because this lady had got the restraining order and this guy wasn't allowed around the house, she wanted the locks changed so her and her kids could stay there, right? And what happened was, I guess he had changed the locks or barricaded the door somehow. So Molly's husband ended up busting in the door. And when he busted in the door, him and the lady that they were helping to change these locks went in, and she thought she had seen her husband run like down the hall or into the kitchen or something like that. So they followed suit, and the next thing you know, Molly's husband was shot dead. So that's kind of sort of like, I guess, why she was flipped out and everything else, and kind of explains what she had said to the officers when she got arrested for the drinking and driving, um, that she had seen her husband killed and this and that. So that's what that was about. So I think, I don't know, but this was a court case that she was a witness to and this and that. And I don't know why it was brought up, but it was. So the defense wanted all the copies to all of this, and basically what the prosecution said, like, look, we had nothing involved in that case. If you want that stuff, go get that yourself. That's not us. Molly's the DoorDash driver. So why they wanted things back on her all the way back to June, I don't know. So maybe they wanted to try and discredit her or whatever, and being that, it was her husband that was killed and this and that, and she witnessed it, was she involved in it, whatever, I don't know what they were trying to do, but they wanted all communication um, regarding Molly McMichael, that's the DoorDash driver. Copy of all email communications between the Gonsalves family and their attorney or representative in the Latah County Prosecutor's Office relating to Molly McMichael. Copy of all email communication. Like, they wanted everything. So, hey, Git, how are you? Hope you're having a great evening. So because her husband was killed in front of her, and how it all happened and whatever, what I just explained, like, were they going to try and somehow use that against Molly? I don't know. It just seems weird to me. Okay, so this is the one. Now, I'm not going to read through all of this, you guys, but there are some things in here that made me go, huh, I didn't know that, regarding the knife sheath. We'll get to it. So this was filed, as you can see here, on June 6th. And this is the state's objection to defendant's offer of proof re alternate perpetrators and the defendant's evidence in support of offer of proof alternate perpetrator. So they go through this. I'll read a little bit of it. Comes now, state of Idaho, by and through the Latah County prosecuting attorney, and objects to the defendant's May 14th offer of proof free alternate perpetrators and May 23rd, 2025 evidence in support of offer of proof free alternate perpetrators. On April 18th, 2025, this court entered its order memorializing oral rulings on motions in limine, which included the state's motion in limine to prohibit the defense from offering alternate perpetrator evidence. In that order, the court directed that the defendant must present offers of proof no later than May 14th, so the matter can be addressed at pretrial conference, which was scheduled for May 15th. The court recognized the Idaho Supreme Court's decision in State versus Meister, which held that mere inferences that another person could have committed the crime will most likely not be relevant, and if relevant, will still be subject to the limitation provisions. The court correctly noted that, after all, defendant cannot merely show another person could have committed the crime. Rather, there must be evidence, direct or circumstantial, linking the third person to the actual perpetration of the crime. The defendant subsequently filed his offer of proof for alternate perpetrators on May 14th. At the pretrial conference held on May 15th, the court directed the defendant to submit actual evidence to support his alternative perpetrator allegations, stating that the defendant's May 14th proffer contained allegations that were fairly objectionable. The defendant subsequently filed his evidence in support of offer of proof regarding alternate perpetrators on May 23rd, 2025. Yet the defendant proffered evidence is substantially no different than what the defendant alleged in his May 14th, 2025 offer of proof re alternate perpetrators, with the exception of and we're going to see a lot of this, you guys. So I don't know what was in here. It appears that in reality, the defendant merely wants to cross-examine various states' witnesses as opposed to trying to make a case of an alternate perpetrator. While the defendant certainly has the prerogative to cross-examine states' witnesses, he cannot speculate that a third party committed the crimes with which the defendant is charged. This is the essence of the limitations and requirements related to alternate perpetrators. It remains the state's position that any attempt by the defendant to offer or argue alternate perpetrator theory without evidence specifically connecting the persons other than the defendant to the homicides would do nothing more than mislead and confuse the jury, and would also result in undue delay, waste of time, needless presentation of cumulative evidence, and unfair prejudice to the state. Turning next to the four, get this, you guys, 4 individuals the defendant wishes to argue as alternate perpetrators. The state addresses each in turn. As discussed below, the court should preclude alternate perpetrator evidence as to each because the defendant has not provided admissible evidence linking them to the homicides as required under Meister. Okay, K. Mitch, I hope you feel better soon, hon. I'm not feeling the greatest either. I've got indigestion and upset stomach. It's crazy. So the defendant proffers, and this is all blacked out, proximity to 2 of the victims hours before the homicides. So this gives me information. So I believe that this is Hoodie Guy that they're talking about. Yep, 4, Carol. 4. So they're talking about the proximity to 2 of the victims hours before the homicides. So I believe that one of the people that they were trying to pin this on is Hoodie Guy. Without something else later that night is not probative evidence and is excluded under Idaho Rules of Evidence 403. Particularly looking at, and they're going to name Hoodie Guy, blah, 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 blah. The defendant next points to 3 lab reports which merely reflect that as part of, and that's, I think it was Jack Showalker or whatever his name is, cooperation with the investigators, he voluntarily submitted a DNA sample and fingerprints. Tellingly, the defendant fails to note that the ISP forensic lab eliminated Jack DNA from the crime scene. Jack's DNA was not found on the knife sheath strap. See this? See that? The strap. You get this, you guys? They're talking about DNA was not, Jack's DNA was not found on the knife sheath strap, on which DNA was found that was matched to the defendant. We didn't hear about DNA being on the strap. And then it goes on to say, or in the DNA mixture found on the back of the sheath. We didn't hear about that either. Okay. So now we're finding out that there was DNA, Jack's DNA was not found on the knife sheath strap on which DNA was found that matched to the defendant. So there was also DNA on the strap that matched Bryan Kohberger, not just on the snap. Or in the DNA mixture found on the back of the sheath. The lab report 7 excludes Jack's DNA from the swab taken in Xana Kernoodle's bedroom, from the DNA found under Miss Mogan's fingernails. He's also excluded from the DNA samples from the fingernails of all other victims, as well as swabs taken above the stairwell at the residence, the upper floor banister, and the bottom of the handrail at the scene of the crime. He is also excluded. His DNA is not in the DNA sample taken on the north wall of the stairwell at the residence, and other sample taken from the half wall. That's that wall by the living room there, going towards Xana's room at the residence. And it excludes him from the DNA sample taken from the door of Miss Mogan's bedroom. The defendant next submits 3 law enforcement investigation reports. I don't know what this is. First, these reports and their contents are hearsay. That said, they all demonstrate that Jack affirmatively reached out to law enforcement. Now, I do know that hoodie guy did reach out to law enforcement and said, hey, I'm the guy. Remember when they had the video of them leaving the corner club, walking towards the grub truck, where Kaylee says, Maddie, what did you tell so-and-so? And Maddie says, I told him everything. Remember that video? He says, hey, I'm the guy in that video walking with them. I'm the guy at the food truck with them. It's me. So he reached out to them. They didn't have to go looking for him. He reached out. He offered his phone. He offered his DNA, everything. Okay. So Jack affirmatively reached out to law enforcement investigators and voluntarily cooperated with them, including providing his DNA. Defendant's speculation that this somehow suggests culpability is without foundation. Right? Poor Jack. The balance of the defendant's submissions are compromised references of, and this is all blacked out. In sum, the state respectfully submits that the defendant's submissions regarding Jack do not even rise to the level of mere inferences that he could have committed the crimes, much less evidence, direct or circumstantial, linking him to the actual perpetration of the crime. The defendant's submissions continue with regard to whatever and are inadequate in the same ways as discussed with respect to so-and-so. So-and-so's DNA was excluded from the mixture on the back of the sheath. See that? From the sample of Xana Kernoodle's bedroom, from the samples found under Miss Mogan's fingernails, from the fingernails of all other victims, from the swabs taken above the stairwell at the residence, the upper floor banister. So they're just going to go over each of the 4 people that they tried to say could have done it. Hey, Butterfly Dina. Adam, that's his name, Adam. I told Adam everything. What did you tell Adam? I told him everything. Yeah, that video. Thank you for that, Git. Can always rely on Git to have things like that for me. So they are going to go through all four. I also believe that they were trying to say Hunter. So Jack Showalter, Hunter, Kaylee's ex-boyfriend, and Maddie's boyfriend. So Jack Showalter. Oh, I just said it. Hoodie guy, Kaylee's ex-boyfriend Jack, Maddie's boyfriend, and Hunter. Those are the four that I think they were trying to say could have done it. Just by, like, if you guys want to read through all this, they just repeat it every single time. The exact samples and everything else, that his DNA was excluded from Madison's bedroom door, everything. Defendant next alleges that so and so's alibi. Now, this I believe was oh, this could be somebody else. Remember the guy? Git's gonna have to help me out here. Remember the guy that said that he had gone to the corner club, he had talking to Kaylee, but he had ended up going home by himself. He lived by himself and he didn't leave his apartment. He had left the corner club at about 11:30, 12 o'clock or something. And he had gone home instead of going to an after party or something like that. I forget what that guy's name is. Anyway, he had an alibi and the defense didn't think his alibi was good enough. They say that it cannot be corroborated because he was by himself. Anyway, they go on to give more information here regarding him. And then defendant next suggests that so and so could have done it. As he did with so and so, defendant then cites many tips that should be considered a suspect. Yet there is no evidence of any tip, which would be hearsay anyway, if the defendant's filings, other than statements attributed to so and so. The balance of the defendant's submission regarding so and so, as with the others, are largely hearsay and are at best mere inferences. Remember, they were also saying, "Oh, there's a guy over at the guys' sorority or whatever it was. Um, there was a group photo, and one of them had a K-bar knife and all that stuff." It was craziness, right, Carol? Just like he was stargazing, yeah. So they gave no direct or circumstantial evidence, anything um, that could put them at the scene. There was nothing, right? And all of their DNA, look at again, DNA was excluded from the strap at the back of the knife sheath. So there was also DNA on the back on the strap. Um, Also, this guy here was excluded from all the victim's fingernail scrapings, all the swabs, everything. And then they're saying the defendant notes that so and so was familiar with the victim in the residence and lived nearby, aside from the fact that blah, 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 blah. The other observations of proximity are not unique. Indeed, it appears that there were numerous people who were familiar not only with the victims, but also 1122 King Road. And they're making all kinds of allegations. They're saying there was 4 that were good hits to them that could be perpetrators, but they're also alleging so much more too, that this one was suspicious, that one was suspicious, but we don't think it was them, but these 4 are the ones that we think that could have done it. But there was others too that they were saying were suspicious. And a lot of this is all blacked out. They're also saying that, this person who they thought could have done it was fully cooperative and provided DNA. It's just crazy, you guys. So you can you can pause this and read through it later if you want. It's just a lot of things being said over and over, and they're talking about the four perpetrators that they said could have been no, I shouldn't say perpetrators, people who they were trying to say could have been perpetrators. Um, in addition to the foregoing, none of the defendant's submissions even hint at any connection between these four individuals and the defendant himself. So now, in order for this to have taken place, for any of these guys that they're trying to name be a perpetrator, they would have also had to have known Bryan Kohberger, right? Think about it. So the defense really didn't think this through. They could not connect any of these four that they were trying to say could have done it to Bryan Kohberger, which they would have had to do. Why do you say, Willow? Why? Why would they've had to know Bryan Kohberger? Because how would they have got Bryan Kohberger's DNA to put on the sheath? But they couldn't find any connection between Bryan Kohberger and these four individuals. So how would any of these four individuals that they're trying to blame have gotten, how could they have gotten Bryan Kohberger's DNA to put on the sheath? Right? So they kind of stuck their own foot in their mouths, like they didn't think things through, right? So, based on the undisputed evidence and what appears to be his theory of the case, the defendant likely will argue that the true killer or killers committed these crimes and also framed the defendant by placing his K-bar knife sheath at the scene. Well, how could they do that if even the defense couldn't find a connection between Bryan Kohberger and any of these four that they're trying to say could have done it? But nothing in the defendant's submission points to any of the alternate perpetrators accomplishing this or having the motive or means to do it. Nor does the defendant connect any of them to a K-bar knife, whether the one the defendant purchased in March or another K-bar. So none of these people that they're trying to say could have done it, they can't connect them to a purchase, ownership, nothing of a K-bar knife. They didn't even own one, let alone purchase one, nor did they have one in their possession. And they can't connect any of those four to Bryan Kohberger, which the defense would have had to do, because how did they get Bryan Kohberger's DNA to put on it? The defendant also cannot connect any of the individuals to a Hyundai Elantra. No year of Hyundai Elantra, let alone this one. Based on the above, the state respectfully prays for an order from this court prohibiting the defendant from arguing an alternate perpetrator theory. The defendant is free to cross-examine these individuals if they are called by the state, but again should be barred from suggesting or arguing that any of them are alternate perpetrators of the homicides. So that's that one. So this next one, you guys, this one here, I'm going to get rid of these. This is from June 18th, and this is where they are trying to argue the alternate perpetrator. I'm going to scroll through this, so if you guys do want to read this, I mean, it's just basically regurgitating what we just read, what they were trying to claim before. But what I found funny was there was DNA on the back of the sheath and DNA on the strap and the snap, from what I'm understanding. So this is just Anne trying to argue it. We know that this was denied. So I will scroll through it slowly. So if you guys want to go back later and read this, it says 15 pages, but 90% of them are blacked out. So I will scroll through, and here's where the blacking out starts. Okay, and from here on, so you guys can go back if you want to read that word for word, go back and pause it and read it later. But the next ones, they're all blacked out. So we're not going to waste our time on that. So this, yeah, and it wasn't just Trace. I watched an interview with the people who did the DNA testing, and they said that there was more than enough. It wasn't just like a couple cells. There was more than enough that they could have done the testing 8 times over if they needed to, right? So we're going to go through this quickly, then we're going to get to the photos. Hoo-hoo. And I have got this photo thing, you guys, the one picture when he's holding up a piece of paper with something written on it. I'm going to give you guys my theory and see what you guys think because it's just odd, okay? What's on this paper that he's holding up? Okay, so these are the next documents that the judge is about to release. He is again telling the prosecution and defense to get ready, go through these documents, and let me know what you want redacted in these documents. Again, there's not a lot that we're going to really care about here, you guys, because I mean, it doesn't matter anymore. Like the proposed stipulated jury instructions, state proposed supplementary jury instructions, um, defendant's amended phase 2 mitigation list. I would like to see that. Um, Exhibit S2 to state supplemental rebuttal disclosure penalty phase. I want to see that. I want to see this one. Exhibit S1 to state supplemental rebuttal disclosure penalty phase. And this one I want to see. So these ones here, parties proposed stipulation jury instructions. Who cares about that anymore? Because it's not going in front of a jury anyway. I mean, it's not going to trial, but these are going to be interesting to see. Um, Defendant's evidence in support of proof. We've already basically, they just keep regurgitating the same thing. The objection to the court's request for the defense to submit a redacted copy of ex parte filing to the state. I think we already know what that's about, but we'll look at it. Exhibit F to the defendant's 6th supplemental request. I want to see that. I want to see this. I don't care about this, really, the defendant's objections to the jury questionnaire. These are going to be interesting here, these two. It's just going to be regurgitated stuff. Don't care about the jury instructions. I want to see this, the state's amended exhibit list and motion to seal. State's motion to reclaim exhibits. Jury instructions. We don't care about this stuff. This I would like to see the defendant's mitigation witnesses and these court minutes. Any of the court minutes I'm always interested in. Examination. This is going to be interesting if we get it. I think a lot of this is going to be redacted. Defendant's objection to the state's motion for examination of defendant. I hope we get to see this. Hurwitz declaration in support of motion for examination. These would be interesting. I don't know if we're going to see them because these are all medical stuff. State's motion for examination of defendant. That is the one that they are arguing about up here. All these things here are all connected. Defendant's phase 1 lay witness list. I'd like to see this. I'd like to see if his parents and sisters are on there. State's exhibit list. I want to see that. State's witness list. I want to see this. Defendant's objection to the state's requested jury instructions. Who cares? Who cares about the jury instructions? Defendant's second response to exhibit. I want to see this. I want to see this. I want to see this. Anything for discovery, I want to see. Requested jury instructions, who cares? Who cares? State's trial brief, I would like to see that. Defendant's trial brief, I would like to see that. Who cares about the jury instructions? Defendant's response to the state's first supplemental request for discovery, transfer of test materials. This I would like to see. Exhibit D, I want to see. This I want to see, and this one I want to see. So there's a lot there that I want to go through. There's going to be a lot that we go through again. So those are going to be interesting. And yes, it was not just Trace. Okay, so now we are done these. Now let's get to the photos. How come I can't see them? They're just giving me the list. Damn it. Okay, let's start with this one. So here's the first one, you guys. We all have seen that one. Here is the next one. We've seen that. This one. Do you notice? Can I? Hang on a sec. Start slideshow. Huh. I thought. Hang on a sec, you guys. Okay, is it this one? Oh, no. Oh. What I want is this. See this? Ooh, that's thick. See that? Let's not go as thick. Let's take that off. Okay, let's see. You see this? That's the shower curtain. Remember in the other photos we seen? So this is obviously just before the red drums. Or maybe just after. Before he got rid of the shower curtain. Because in the photos that we see that they took of Bryan Kohberger's house or apartment, the shower curtain is not there. The shower curtain is missing. So there is proof that there was a shower curtain there. I don't know how to get out of this now. I shouldn't have touched it. So there's proof right there that there was a shower curtain. What image is that? Whoops. Hang on, you guys. So that's that one. Then we got this one. And do you notice something? Not that one, but this one. Do you guys notice something? That one. Not this one. But this one. This one. Do you notice something about those pictures? Okay. I'll make them smaller so we can see them all. Look at. Not this one. But this one. Do you guys notice something in these pictures? Do you notice something in all three of these pictures? I'm going to wait and see what you guys type in the chat. Is there something you guys notice about all three of these pictures? Come on, chat. What do you guys notice about all three of these pictures? To refresh my chat. Lori Fuller says, in the bathroom. Right. Got it. I knew Git would get it. Git got it. Like, he's always wearing these ear pods. Okay, so now that you guys have seen it, yeah, the eyebrows too, like they are really thick here in this one. Here too. Here too. Let me take that off. Okay, so let's make them big again. He's wearing ear pods in all of these, you guys. Okay, so let's so look at this one, you guys. Like, look at the look on his face. And he's still got these bushy eyebrows. See how his eyebrows almost come down and touch his eyelashes? And then when he's in court, like he's looking at his ass. Like, buddy, whoa. Right? Look at the face on this. Like, look at the face on this. And it looks like the tag is still on it here. Here, oh, I guess you can't see it there. He's covered up the tags. But in this one, you can see the tag still on the jeans. Look at the face. And he's got his shirt pulled up here. Are you looking at your muffin top hanging over your jeans? Oh, yeah, in court they were really thinned out. Look at this one. Like, he looks creepy in some of these, you guys. Like, he looks so different in the different photos. He looks so different. You know what I mean? Look at this one. Again, look at the ear pods. And there's that shower curtain again. I think so. That one, then this. Oh, take a look. Come on, ladies, stop drooling. Stop drooling. Come on. Don't be drooling. Like, I want to puke. Like, I want to puke. It's like, at first, I thought, Google Patrick Bateman on Google. There is so many similarities to the newly released images. Yeah. Okay. Carol says he's upset over his spare tire. But look at this. This is disgusting. Like, barf. Barf. At first, I thought that he didn't have anything on and like standing at attention. Do you know what I was thinking? But look at this, you guys. Sorry to zoom in. Look at this right here. An injury. And I was really looking, like his eyebrows are still thick here. There's the mirror pods again. Like, you're in your apartment by yourself, right? You're in your apartment by yourself. What are you doing with ear pods in? You know what I mean? Like, I don't see any injuries. They don't give the dates on these photos, you guys. This looks like it could be an injury right there. I don't know. But it definitely looks like an injury on his finger there. But this is disgusting. Gets better. Where's the next one? Hang on. So we've seen this one. There. Now, when I first seen this photo, you guys, all I seen was like this. And I thought he was doing something. Like I'm still barfing, right? Like this again is taken. I think this is taken in his kitchen. But when I seen this, like it was like this, right? It didn't look like he had any clothes on. And the look on his face, I thought he was doing something sexual to himself. It was like, oh my God, barf, 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 barf. Now, this one here, you can tell because this one is in his bedroom. You can see his closet and everything here. Look at the earphones in. This one is taken in his kitchen. You can see his kitchen floor. Still, the earpods in. Like, what is he thinking? But you can clearly see he's not doing what we thought he could have been doing. But what's his hand like? Is he trying to make a muscle? But look at the muffin top. There you go. And these aren't the jeans anymore. These look like track pants. So, like, what the hell was he thinking? You know what I mean with these photos? And then here's another one. Look at earphones again. This looks like it could have been taken at the college, in his office at the college. But do you see what I mean by he looks so different in all the pictures? So this is another one. Here's another one in his car. He looks even totally different here too. And again, he looks totally different in this one. No earbuds. Oh, did he have earbuds in the car? Nope. Whoops. No earbuds in the car. This one without earbuds, amazingly. Here's another one. I feel like this picture has been stretched maybe, but I don't know. Maybe that's when he had a bit more weight on him. He doesn't look like a skeleton. There's another one. See how his face is thinned right out? This again is in his bathroom. You can see the shower curtain and you can see the squares here. There's the earbuds again. We've seen that one before. There's one when he was even chubbier. I think this is when he was a lot younger, sorry. He has these different earbuds in. There's his driver's license where I think they were going to use this to show the bushy eyebrows. But his birthday, I'm not sure if it's 11/21 or 11/22. I thought it was 11/21, but this expires 11/22. So usually, I know here in Canada, it expires on your birthday. And this was issued September 14th, 2020. So 2 years before the murders. And this expired in 2024. And get this. See this down here, you guys? Organ donor. I hope nobody ever gets this guy's organs. You know what I mean? Who would want one of his organs? I don't know. I wouldn't want anything that his blood ran through the day after your birthday. Okay, so it is 11/21. Okay, thank you, Brittany. I appreciate that. And Kate Bell's puking. Now, from what I've heard, what's this last one I had? Oh, here it is. So this is the one I want to go over with you guys. Now, I hear that there's 155 photos. Not all 155 have been released. Somebody has them. Now, why he took 3 different, and you can tell, like, see, these are taken 3 different angles. These 2 are pretty much the same. This is a little different. This one is arms. These are almost the same, but the paper's turned a little bit more. Anyway, let's look at it. FKGR57. Okay, we can see it here better. FKGR57. So, here goes my little brain. And I'm going, what does that mean? Why is he holding this up and taking a picture of it? So, because there's letters, right? FK, GR, like there's like a space here, right? So to me, I'm taking that as something that rhymes with truck, like fuck. You know what I mean? Fuck. GR57. The 5th letter of the alphabet is an E, and the 7th letter is a G. So could this be fuck Greg? Who's Greg? Who's Greg? If that's what it means. Did he not want to? Hang on, I gotta click that off. Okay. Did he not want to put the person's name? So he just put GR57? I could be totally wrong. So then I started saying, okay, I'm going to put the numbers to each of the letters. So F is the 6th letter. K is the 11th letter. G is the 7th letter. R is the 18th letter. 5. The 5th letter is E. And the 7th letter is G. So then I said, okay, well, could this be, because this is the 6th, 11th, it's the 6th letter, and this is the 11th letter. 6 and 11 is 17, right? And then G is 7, R is 18, 5 and 7. So if you add 6, 11, 7, 18, 5, and 7, you come up with 54. But if you add, say you're just going across this way, 11 and 6 is 17 minus 7, because he's put a letter, minus 7 equals 10. Anyway, I was going through all of, what does this mean? The only one that I came up with that meant really anything was fuck Greg. But who's Greg? And what does that have to do with anything? But these obviously have some kind of meaning. You know, you get people on the internet or in chat or whatever, and they are ones that like figuring out stuff like this. What does this mean? I got fuck Greg, but I don't know who Greg is. So was he pissed at somebody? I don't know. But this looks like it was taken in his apartment. That's what it looks like. Or maybe his parents' house. But this table here looks like it's in his apartment. But I don't remember seeing a window there. So this could very well be, and his hair looks really short, but his eyebrows still look big. They look thinned out. I don't know. But this almost looks like his little bar stool table thing that he had. So I don't know if this is in his apartment or if this is at his parents' house. Brittany says, I wonder if it was his username on a dating site and he wrote the username to prove it was him. That could very well be too. Maybe. Aha. That could be it too. Maybe it's not fuck Greg. Oh, Brittany, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. That could very well be too. I forgot that he was on these dating sites. He was also on a lot of PORN sites too, right? So yeah, that could very well be that somebody said, "Oh, well, write your username down on a piece of paper and put it up beside you and take a picture so I know it's you." Yeah, that could I think that is very plausible, Brittany. Magnificent. Did you Google a name as written? No. Let me do that right now. FKGR57 screen name. Looks like there aren't any great matches for your search. Nope. Maybe if I put this on, hang on a second. Cut and put it here. Screen name. Search. No, hang on. Nope, I can't find nothing on it. Police could have removed all his accounts by now, too. Yeah, that's possible. But yeah, I found that, well, that just blows my theories all out of the water because I think what you said, Brittany, is probably more plausible than fuck Greg. But what does it mean? Like, why would he put FKGR57? FK graduate, he's 5'7", green, I don't know. What does the FKGR mean? He's not 5'7". He's not 57. He wasn't born in 57. Is there a GR57 in criminal law? I don't know. I'm in Canada. I spent 30 years in the criminal law field here in Canada, and GR57 means nothing to me, but it could for the States. I don't know. But there's an FK here too. FKGR57. But yeah, that could very well. I think you're right, Brittany. I think that somebody said, oh, well, how do I know that's a photo of you? Put your screen name there and take a picture and send it to me. Yeah, I think that's exactly what it could be. Brilliant. What do you guys think? Any other ideas of why he would have used that other than a screen name for something? Like, I don't go on the TikTok thing and the Insta Noodle thing and all that. I'm just on Twitter and YouTube, Facebook. I don't go on the other things. So is this like, would that be like a common way to put your name on the TikTok or the Insta Noodle thing or Snap, that Snapchatty thing? I don't know. What do you guys think? So I don't think. Let me just, whoops. Why did I do that? There we go. What do you guys think? There was also pics of sheets of paper where there were dates written down. Yeah. Those, okay, let me get rid of these. Okay, I'm going to have to close these all out, you guys. Ugh. Ugh. Okay, let me find those ones. And we'll check them out. Photo dump. Was it in these ones? Hang on, let me scroll through. I think it was in these ones here. Have you guys seen all these? As far as I'm concerned, they should have blacked this out. Oh, you guys can't see. Hang on a sec. Oh, yeah, you can see. They should have blacked this all out because that's Madison's bed. Okay. Let me scroll. I don't know if you guys seen all these. Look at that after they did that blue star. Carol says there was blacked out marks under the dates. Okay, hang on. Let me get back to them. I don't think it was in this bunch. I think these were just all the photos of the house. Let me scroll through them, you guys. Let me know if you want me to go through some of these. If some of you guys haven't seen them, I can. If you tell me which ones you want to see. I thought I had them all here. Hang on, you guys. I save stuff and it's like, okay, where to go? I don't know where it was saved. I don't know. I'm an idiot when it comes to stuff like this. Okay, so it's not in these. Okay, hang on. Give me a second. Oh, probably in these. Guys, yeah, I'm looking. I got the wrong batch. Okay, I think it's in these ones. I think this is the batch that had his apartment in them. Did you guys see these ones? Let me know if you want to see any of these batches. The last batch, this is 699 photos. The last batch was 300 and something. That was all the crime scene. I think it's in this batch. Oh God, we got all these again. Come on. Oh, here we go. Okay, wait a minute. We're at his... Okay, so they have some of the crime scene. These are probably taken a little later. And then they got... Okay, so these are all Bryan Kohberger's apartment. Remember what I said about this? Yes, there was a window there. So that one was taken. The one that we were inquiring about with the piece of paper held up, there's that curtain. So there was a curtain behind that table. Like I said, I thought for sure that was his table. So that picture where he's holding up the FKGR 57, that is taken here in the kitchen. It's funny that this screen is out. I'm wondering if he took his screen out to try and see if he could open windows. I don't know. It's weird. This closet. And it looks like all his rooms were freshly vacuumed, even the closets. I don't see Bryan Kohberger as somebody who steams his clothes or irons clothes. I don't know. That could be just me. This is for a Swiffer, I think. Duct tape. This is a little piece taken off here. It's just like, why? Okay, here we go. It's in here somewhere. And I know I've got close-ups of it. See, that is one of them, but it's blacked out. But they do show... Further down, they show... Like, that could be his OCD too. Cleaning his sink, and he was using steel wool. Cleaning. Like, did he wash up in here? And he wanted to make sure he got all blood and everything wherever there was blood. You know what I mean? He scraped that right down so the paint and everything was gone. It looks like they took the drain, but this could also be a garbage disposal because I think I seen, yeah, garbage disposal. I'm sure they took all that too. Okay, let's continue. Oh, there's one right there. Let's turn it around. Right here. 7-Eleven, July 11th, 2022. So could this be another one that he took a picture? You know what I mean? Bryan C. Kohberger, 7-11-22. So July 11th. So could that be another one where somebody said, well, show me the date, today's date, and your name? That could very well be. Let's see. Huh. Whoops, let's turn these back around right. See these scrubby pads? That's what I think he scrubbed, because there's one missing out of there. There's one taken out. These metal scrubby things, that's what I think he used on his sink. And I think he did that because that's where he washed up. Like, why would you keep a napkin? I don't know. It's just weird. Like, he wasn't that clean. That's food. See, there's that table. He was standing in front of this when he took that picture. And it had FKGR57. So that had to have been a screen name, because this one back here, where is it? Has something different on it. And it's in the kitchen too. So did he have a habit of going in the kitchen and taking a picture because of the light, maybe? There was good light there. So he'd take a picture and they'd say, put the date, today's date, 7/11/2022, my name. Here, see, it's me. That could very well be, because there is, we just passed it. There, it was standing in front of this that he took the picture. But I believe that there was more papers too. Let's make these a little smaller for now. He liked tie stuff. Very minimal stuff. 1 K-pod and coffee. Very minimal, like minimal stuff. And he put everything in baggies. Did he have bugs? Maybe? Was there maybe bugs in the apartment? I don't know, it's weird. Very minimal, like 3 cups, 3 glasses, that's it. Like, most of his cupboards are empty. Yeah, it looks like he liked a lot of Thai stuff. Okay, here it is again, but we get close-up photos. I forget what that was. What was that? Oh, textbook, Amazon. Just to show that that's his account. That he bought this book. The Ivory Tower one. This one. So this was probably to show, look at this same Amazon, because this is from Amazon. This same Amazon account bought this textbook. See how it says Amazon right here? So this is probably to show that he used that Amazon account. Okay, so where is those other papers? Are right there. These are the ones we were looking for. Where's those other ones that he had stuff written on? I bet you he hated being corrected and told you're overdoing it and you're overstating it and that makes no sense. I bet you he hated that. I'm trying to find that other paper, you guys, where he wrote whatever on. Okay, this is, whoops. Oh, if I don't. See, they black stuff out. Okay, Butterfly Dana, you take care, hon. Like they black stuff out on here. This is his storage locker. So I don't see any more papers. Unless they're in here. See how when they went there, his shower curtain's gone. There's no more shower curtain there. You guys, look at, there's no more shower curtain. The towel's still there, but the shower curtain isn't. And he really cleaned this good. Look at how sparkly white that is. He had a shower and made sure he cleaned it good. Okay, so these are all. Sorry, you guys had a cough. This weather has been crazy. It's cold and then it's hot. Then it's cold and it's hot. Like very minimal stuff here. Very minimal. It's weird. Yeah, I don't think there's any more pictures. See, there's that. He was standing right here taking those photos. And then he'd just throw the papers in the drawer, it looks like. But there's that window behind the kitchen table. These are the bedrooms. The one bedroom is that I don't know why he would rent a 2-bedroom. They're back in the kitchen, back to these papers. But I don't see any. What's that? Official ballot for Bryan Kohberger for the election, November 8th. Okay, here's some more. Excuse me. None of these are filled out. There we go. There's another one. 8/18, August 18th, 2022. So there's another one. So August 18th. So I bet you that's what it is. August 17th. So I bet you any money that's what it is. I guess he figured he didn't do his 8s good enough here. Oh, I'm starting to hack and cough, talking too much. 8/18 again. Yeah, that's what I think it is. So, yeah, that's what I think that was, you guys. I think Brittany nailed it right on the head. I think those dates with his name is maybe on one of his dating sites or porn sites that he was on. They said, "Oh, how do we know that's really you? Put today's date with your name and hold it up." So maybe that's what it was, because there was an August 17th and an August 18th. And then there was the FKGR 57. Maybe they said, put your screen name and hold it up, because this is August 18th. And this one's August 17th. So that's weird. But how this correlates with whatever was happening, we don't know. Hopefully, we will find out more as documents come out. So I will be watching, you guys. They have until September 19th to give what they want redacted on the next set of documents that is set to drop. There's a lot there. Now, I don't know how much we're going to be able to see. So if it's basically blacked out and we've heard everything else, I'm not going to go live with it. But if there's stuff in there that we didn't know, like this document dump that just happened, I didn't know that there was DNA that was found on the back of the sheath and on the strap, right? Like, could they have possibly meant the strap being where the snap is? But they also say there was some on the back. They say there was none of their DNA was found on the strap or the back. So there you go. We found out more there about that. So, well, with that being said, you guys, I'm going to wrap it all up. Thank you for coming and watching. I will keep my eyes open. I'm also keeping my eye open on the Barry Morphew thing to see if anything gets filed there. If there is, I will either make a post or I'll go live, depending on how important it is. And we're going to have to wait and see if he posts bond. As far as I know, he hasn't posted bond yet, which is good. I don't know anybody who's going to pay $300,000 to get him out. When bond was set the last time, it was $500,000, so he only lost $50,000 for his freedom until it was done in court. But somebody losing 300, are you going to pay $300,000 to get him out? Because they won't get that $300,000 back. That's the fee. The $300,000, if he has to pay that to a bondsman, or whatever, they won't get that $300,000 back. So anyway, we'll see what happens there. I'm keeping my eyes on it. I'll let you guys know. Thank you, Carolette, for the hearts. Big hearts right back. Carolette says, I'm thinking he was a puzzle we'll never put together. Yeah. I mean, I don't expect any of us to be warped as him to be able to figure out what he was doing. So I'm going to wrap it up and I'm going to end it like I always do. Until next time, you guys, please take care of yourselves. Please stay safe. Always be aware of your surroundings. I love you guys to the moon and back. Bye-bye for now.